Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Aerospike Summit 20. My name is Bill Odell. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Aerospike, and I will be your host for the next couple of days. For those of you who were with us yesterday at the technical training sessions, welcome back. For those of you who are just joining us today and missed those technical training sessions, do not worry. We recorded each and every one of them as we are recording all of the sessions over the next couple of days. So you can get those recordings after the event and listen to them at your leisure. Now, we decided a month or so ago to make this a virtual event. We did that primarily for the safety and well-being of all of us. We have been sheltering in place, being safe, and keeping our families safe along with us. We want to make sure that we were able to continue to do so, but also to deliver this event for each and every one of you. This is our third such event, and we're delighted to have you with us this year. A quick note about who is with us today. Last year, to give you some perspective, which was our second ever user summit, we had companies from 6 countries around the world. This year, and I suspect it's because we're having a virtual event, we have representation from companies from some 35 or more countries around the world. So if you are here and you're joining us from other parts of the world other than Silicon Valley, where I'm presenting to you today, thank you for joining us. It's exciting to have so many people with us. A little bit about who we have with us specifically. We have obviously a number of people in an engineering or development capacity. That's pretty typical for these events for us, as we have people here who are learning how to develop on top of the Aerospike data platform. But more importantly, perhaps, is we have a great diversity and representation across a number of different industries and industry subsegments. So if you're in manufacturing, or you're in retail, or you're in cybersecurity, chances are you have somebody else here in a similar capacity at a similar company. So we will make sure in a few moments to share with you how you can reach out and get to know each other, because after all, this event is really about you and sharing of ideas amongst yourself. So we'll share in a moment how to do so in our virtual platform. So a little bit about our keynote speakers. We're delighted to have such a strong lineup this year. As always, you'll hear from Aerospike executives. You'll hear about our vision and our strategy, as well as about some exciting new announcements that we've made recently. We want to make sure that you're up to speed on those announcements. I will say we have a bit of a celebrity with us this year. Don Hatterley, the father of DB2, an IBM fellow, will be joining the stage with other Aerospike executives to give his perspective on some of the recent announcements we've made. So you want to be sure to hear from Don. We have executives from both Intel and HPE keynoting this year. They'll be sharing their innovation agendas with us, so you'll want to make sure that you spend some time hearing their perspectives on what's going on across the IT landscape. But more importantly, perhaps, we have a representation from Aerospike customers on our keynote sessions this year. Snap, Wayfair, Adobe, Sony are keynoting this year, as is our good partner, Google. So you want to make sure that you listen in to those keynotes as well. The keynotes are going to start at the beginning of each day and at the end of each day. So make sure that you put that in your calendar and make a note of it to attend. In addition to the great keynotes we also have some terrific breakout speakers for each of you. You'll see the companies that are represented on the slide in front of you, a great cross-section of companies that span the globe, span different industries. These are Aerospike customers, and they're going to share with all of us what they've been doing, what they've been building on top of the Aerospike data platform. So you want to make sure that you note these down and attend these sessions as well. Now, an event like this could not be possible without our sponsors. So I want to thank Intel and HPE for once again being our premier sponsors this year. Thank you. But we also have some other companies that you'll note on the slide here as well that are putting resources and have probably be providing information for all of you about their products and services. So in a moment, I'll tell you how you can reach out to each one of these companies and understand what they have available to you to help you with your particular projects at your companies. Now, I'm going to do a quick walkthrough on how this virtual platform works. If you've already been with us for a day or so, you might already have figured it out, but for those of you who haven't, let me do a quick walkthrough for you. First of all, we have a developer hub. I've just highlighted that. That developer hub is staffed with Aerospike developer evangelists and experts. They are there to help you and point you in the direction of tools and training and materials that we're making available to you to help you with your projects. But more importantly, it's an area where developers can hang out and network with each other. So if you want to spend some time reaching out to other developers at the conference, please make sure to spend some time in our developer hub. We also have an area called Ask Aerospike, and it's exactly what it says. If you have a question about Aerospike, about our products, about our services, about the company, please visit the Ask Aerospike area and ask your questions. It will be staffed with Aerospike employees throughout the duration of the event. If you're looking for materials, want to find a white paper, want to find a solution brief, well, we have it uploaded and available to you in our resource center. Tons of information there, too much to go into detail right now, but if you'd like to download some material, take it back with you, read it at your leisure outside of this event, share it within your company, please make sure that you visit the resource center. Partner Pavilion. I mentioned a minute ago about our sponsors. Each one of them have built a virtual booth customized for their own companies and their services. They have representatives there that are staffed. They're available to answer your questions. They have product demos. They have materials that you can download. So please take some time during a break and visit the Partner Pavilion. And as with any event, whether it's physical or virtual, we all have questions. How do I find this? I'm having a technical issue. Well, that's what the information desk is there for. If you have any sort of technical issue, you have an audio issue, a connectivity issue, please visit the information desk. Or if you just get lost and want to know how to find your way around the experience, there are people there that can guide you to that as well. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about prizes. Let's have some fun here. The more time you spend in our sessions, the more time that you hang out in the developer hub and download information and visit our Partner Pavilion, you earn points. And those points can be redeemed for prizes. And let me walk you through those. We're giving away a set of Bose Quiet Comfort 13 wireless Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. They're the best of the best. So you're going to want to make sure you put yourself in a position to win a set of those. We're also giving away a Yeti cooler or two. And my staff actually assures me that if you're a camper, you're going to want to have one of these because these are bear proof. No kidding. We also are going to give away a number of Lego Saturn V rockets. These are actually replicas of the Saturn V rocket that landed the first astronauts on the moon. And if you want to know a piece of trivia, there's 1,969 pieces to make that rocket complete. That's because the year that that rocket landed astronauts on the moon was 1969. So this happens to be the most popular giveaway we do at any physical event. So have some fun and try to earn a Saturn V rocket. We'll also be giving away a number of Amazon gift cards. So if you'd like to get a little extra money to be able to spend on yourself or your families, however, please put yourself in position to win an Amazon gift card while you're here. Now, very important thing about our virtual experience here is to fill out your profile. You'll see that I've highlighted in front of you in the navigation bar area where you can click on and fill out your profile. Very important that you do this. This is how people find you, and more importantly, this is how you find them. So we want to make sure that you can find each other by virtue of your company, your domain, and your role. So take a moment. It'll take less than a minute to do so and complete your profile at some point during the event. I also want to make sure you know that we are looking for your feedback. So we have a survey that's available through this virtual platform. We'll make it available to you multiple times during your stay with us, but it's important for us to get your feedback so we make this event better and better every single year. So it's exactly 5 questions. I've looked at them personally. It will not take you very long, but that information will be very helpful for us. So help us help you. Now, this is a very difficult time for all of us. Many of us have been sheltering in place for the last several weeks, if not several months. We are all going through a very difficult time with the COVID-19 pandemic. So we wanted to take the time through this event to give back to those who are in need. And so we're very proud to be partnering with our partners, Intel and HPE, to support two organizations that do some very important work around the world. World Central Kitchen is such an organization. They provide meals to people during natural disasters. And as of last week, they've delivered already 4.5 million meals, free meals, to people who are in need because of COVID-19. We're also supporting the International Medical Corps organization. It's an organization that's been around for 35 years. They provide volunteer medical personnel around the world to support in natural disasters. And at this moment, they have medical personnel in 30 countries around the world delivering very needed medical support to people because of COVID-19. So for each and every one of you who are in attendance today, we're donating $30 to those organizations because we want to do our part to give back. Now, let me transition over to our morning keynotes. We're going to start off with John Dillon, CEO of Aerospike. For those of you who have been with us before, you know John. For those who are new to us, John is an industry veteran. He's been a Silicon Valley enterprise software executive with terms at Oracle, Salesforce.com, Arbor Software, and Hyperion, and others. He brings a tremendous amount of experience and perspective to all of us, and I invite you to spend some time as he talks about what he calls the digital imperative. Following John will be Ray Wang. Ray Wang is a very well-known speaker. He's an author. He's an advisor to Fortune 1000 CIOs about technology trends. He started with Forrester Research, went on to Altimeter Group, and then founded his own analyst firm called Constellation Research. I know you're going to enjoy Ray. Ray will be talking about the post-digital shift and how we think about evolving business models built upon what he calls precision decisions. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. Welcome to Aerospike 20. Delighted to have you with, and I'll now turn it over to John Dillon and Ray Wang.
Good morning, good afternoon, or even good evening, wherever you are. I'd like to welcome you as well to the conference. I think we've put together an excellent event. It's an opportunity for you to learn, share ideas, and connect with others. It's odd being a virtual event. I'm used to presenting to a large audience. It's what we expected when we put this thing together. Hopefully, it will be just as important for you and you'll gain just as much from it. And frankly, we've saved you some travel time, saved you some expense, and we've probably at the same time been good for the environment. So perhaps that's a silver lining. But in any event, I want to thank you for participating, and I want to welcome you again to the conference. So speaking today, it's hard to avoid the discussion around the pandemic and the virus. It's unprecedented. I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. It's what you'd call a black swan event. Rarely happen. And when they do, it's not what you expected. And they usually happen because of a series of small events that lead to a big event. And I was wondering about what the impact of a pandemic is in this global effect. And I was trying to liken it to some other event in humankind that might be germane in some way. And I didn't want to go back and compare COVID-19 to some prior epidemic. So I was thinking, and I think an ice age. Ice covered most of the earth at one point or another. But interestingly enough, the last one ended only 11,600 years ago. Now, clearly well before our lifetimes, but that was a pretty big deal. And they were humans. They were humans. And humans, with their indomitable spirit, they learned how to domesticate plants so they could have food. They used bone needles and learned how to sew so they can make warm clothing from animal skins. Pretty adaptive, right? Now, the sea levels were down about 400 feet. And they said, well, let's explore. So they crossed over from Asia into North America across the Bering Sea on the land bridge. I mean, pretty adaptable, right? Looking for a better life. And we humans are very adaptable. And I think that's key. We're going to get through this virus. But the question really is, what's going to happen? Now, the ice age, all that ice, distant memory. But did it change the planet? Yes, geologically. We got the Great Lakes in America. We've got Yosemite. Some of the Alps were carved by these things. About a third of the Northern Hemisphere was covered by 200 or 300 feet of ice. So it was a pretty big deal. But in a matter of months, this virus has killed hundreds of thousands of people. And yet today, we have other tools at our disposal. We have the internet, we can communicate globally, but we also have 7.7 billion people. So it's a pretty big deal. And this virus is going to affect all of us, directly or indirectly, every human on the planet, but we will survive. But what the recovery looks like is unclear. Will business revert 100% as usual? Or will some of the muscle memory that we're developing now emerge and those changes remain after we're done? Hard to say, but there will be change, and we're already beginning to see some of it. Big changes. These changes will be structural, some of them to the global economy, some of them to markets, marketplaces, industries, and everyday life. I mean, many of these aspects, after the virus is subdued, will revert to normal. But some will not. And someday we'll be talking about, well, after the virus, there was the new normal. Maybe we'll stop wearing masks, but maybe conferences like this one the lion's share of them may be virtual, because you can save time, money, and a lot of expense and effort associated with bringing everybody physically together for presentations that we don't necessarily all want to see at the same time. There's lots of things that can change. I mean, think about education. Most people that may be attending this conference, but most people around the world that have children, those children are not in a classroom for their safety, but they're doing digital learning. And maybe the whole educational system will change. Maybe it'll be more efficient. I don't know. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see what the changes are. And perhaps like this conference, virtual changes, virtual distancing, meeting, and things like that, those things may remain well after the virus is subdued. Now, Darwin, pretty famous man. A lot of times people say, he said survival of the fittest. What he really did was say that it will be the most adaptable. The adaptable species are the ones who make do when something catastrophic happens or when a challenge occurs. And it's really interesting. The virus has been instantaneous relative to geological change. It's not gradual, it's quantum. It's not evolutionary, it's cataclysmic. And so the impact is going to be profound, and it's going to happen very quickly. That's what's made us mostly unprepared, whether it's government, whether it's business. We just didn't anticipate exactly this thing happening, but we're beginning to adapt. One of the things that's happening is this virus is vaulting us forward rapidly into the digital age, and humans don't like to change. They only change when they have to, in many cases. So this change is being forced upon us, and it's accelerating almost beyond belief. And I think that's really important. So as I said, it's never really been about survival of the fittest. It's going to be those that are adaptable, agile, and innovative. So here we are, and we are adaptable. If any species is adaptable, it's humans. And I am convinced that will get us through this particular crisis and crises that we will see in the future that maybe no one can anticipate. And the fact of this acceleration is crazy. And that's why many organizations were unprepared. But you in this audience, you are early adopters. You are change leaders. Many of the things that you're already working on have to do with the digital future that we all will experience. And this virus is going to accelerate the need for those changes and the opportunity for those changes. You are already there. You are the innovators. You are making the future of the world happen, but you're doing it today. And in part, that's why we're here at the conference. Now, the internet and digital transformation have been changing a lot of things. That term is overworked, but we remember when taxi cabs were taxi cabs, and now it's Uber, it's Lyft, it's whatever. And it looks so different than it did a decade ago or 15 years ago for better accuracy. In any event, who anticipated that it would happen or to happen that quickly? When was the last time you went into a bank? If you have a cell phone, you can deposit a check by taking a picture. Unbelievable. And you can do online banking, and now you can do it from your phone. You can send money from person to person without ever going to a bank. When was the last time you went to a movie house, a movie theater? Maybe you're at home streaming movies. And I think a lot of people during the virus are doing exactly that. How about being on an airplane? Personally, I was on 100 flights last year, and I think I've been on 8 this year. So obviously I'm not keeping pace. But the point is this change is happening, and it's going to happen everywhere. We can't predict which industries or how it's going to happen. But the question is, are you ready? And can you adapt? And I submit it is all about digital. And those with a competent digital presence will survive and flourish. Do you have the data? Can you mine it? Can you extract value from the data? Can you deploy it in real time? Can you do something good with it? And those who do will win, thrive, and survive. What was once called digital transformation, I would submit is now a digital imperative. If you want to win, you've got to have a digital strategy, and you can't wait to do it for another decade. It's being forced upon us, all of us, faster than anything that we would ever expect. And it doesn't matter what industry we're in. Every human or any IoT, Internet of Thing device that reaches out across the internet, the receiving application must decide in real time, a split second, as to what is the next best action. How do I take an action that provides the best consequence, the best outcome? And how's that decision made? It's made by using as much data as possible and giving that data in real time to some sort of algorithmic decisioning engine to decide in a split second what must happen in an instant. And the more data the decisioning engine has, the better the decision. Now, if you think about humans, we make lots of decisions, but we never have all the information, right? I mean, you might be going to a coffee shop to have a latte or an Americano. It's not a high-risk decision. You give it a thought, you make a split-second decision on your own pretty easy. But what if you were faced with a serious medical procedure and you didn't know about that? You didn't know it was an operation. You don't know what the risk is of survival, et cetera, all the consequences. You'd probably go online. You'd probably research the internet, learn everything you could before you elected to have surgery, right? What were you doing? You were gathering information. But in all cases, you never have complete information. And it's called decision-making under conditions of uncertainty. There's books written on it. People study it. That's what happens with these algorithmic decisioning engines. So how do you make those decisions better and better and better? Well, the first thing you do is you capture a huge trove of data. Then you save the stuff that's current, and that changes all the time. So you've got to have a current pod of data that's fresh. But then you go through the data and you comb it for information that you can glean, actionable intelligence, insight, data mining or deep learning. And you go, if something happens that looks like this, maybe it will make my decision a little bit different given the data factors that I can take into account that might be consequential. So then you take all this information, you feed it into the decisioning engine that in real time looks at lots of data. We have clients that sometimes do 500 database reads and writes for a single business decision that they conclude in a matter of milliseconds, or maybe 300 milliseconds, which is an eye blink. And it's unbelievable. But by using more data, they can make a better decision. And that's what many of you in this audience do. You either do it now, or you're here to learn the lessons that those who do those things have learned over years of experience and practice, trial and error. Can I put more data to work? If I put more data to work, do I improve the yield? And we see this at places like Wayfair. They've improved the quality of the recommendation engine so they get more conversions and a better user experience. Same thing's true with PayPal. Every time they have a business transaction, they have to decide, is it fraud or is it not fraud? And a false positive or false negative equally is bad. And they can improve that with more data. Same thing with Airtel. Airtel loves customer intimacy, and they have an application. It's a 360. They have a total view of their customers, and they can decide in a split second, how can I do the right thing for this customer? What do I know about that customer, and how can I serve him or her better in an instance? Better customer intimacy, better satisfaction, better customer retention, better brand development. It's win, win, win. At Aerospike, we don't build those applications, but we can help you enable them. And that's why we're here. the fact is, we are delighted and exceptionally excited to be a part of that journey. And for that, we continue to invest in the future. It's your future, but it's also our future, and we can't be successful if you can't be successful. So we have equal commitment to making sure that there's technology that can help you deliver these sorts of solutions. And so for that reason, we're doing a lot of investing. We invest millions of dollars each year in technology, engineering, innovation. And as you probably know, most recently, we delivered Aerospike Cloud, Aerospike 5, and you're going to learn a little bit about Aerospike multi-site clusters and more. These are all innovations and advancements that have taken a lot of input from our clients, a lot of experience in working with you, and we believe they're very, very, very exciting. And for those of you who are here at the summit who have interest in these things, please attend those sessions because they're going to be really invaluable. And even if you don't need that technology now, as your business grows and as this digital tsunami washes over all of us, some of the capabilities are going to be things that you're going to want and you're going to need. As you know, we started out very, very strong in ad tech. Why? Because we're doing real-time bidding and ad serving, and those internet ad companies basically got washed over early on by the scale of the internet and its rapid exponential growth. Today, we're very pleased to say that we have a very large client portfolio of financial services vendors, or not vendors, but customers and those that vend to the communities out there, retailers, telcos, gaming companies, gaming platform companies, security. And in the not too distant future, we expect to be strong in the industrial Internet of Things. It's kind of an early market. It's growing, but it's going to be big. And it's just starting out, where you have to ingest a lot of data. You have to analyze it. You have to sift through it. And then many times you have to push it back to the edge where you can take advantage of it to make real-time decisions, the right real-time decisions in a split second. So we're excited about that. 2019 was a really good year for us. 2020, we're going to be fine. Our business is strong, but we know and have sympathy and empathy for other industries where this is going to be really tough. But we will continue to invest during this year, and we will exit 2020 stronger and more able than ever to address new and expanding workloads within our client base and in new markets which we expect to serve. You can count on us to listen to you, innovate, and invent for the future, where it will help you make the best use of our technology for these sort of applications that are part now of what I'm calling the digital imperative. We're here to help. You can trust us. If we tell you we can do it, we will. We'll do what it takes. So with that, just let us know if or how we can help. And together, let's accelerate the change that we need to build, and let's build the future together. Thank you very much. Enjoy the conference. I think it's going to be a great one.